Okay, let's have on a lighter note. I'll just read another one. Third,
Yeah.
three, stop. This is also the state of mind of a Zen master, we will say. It is not very short, but yeah, it's short only. The story is named Is That So? Doesn't require much reflection beautifully. The Zen master Hakuin. Hakuin is one of the very famous Zen master, was praised by his neighbors as one living a pure life. A beautiful Japanese girl with whose parents owned a food store near where he lived. Suddenly, without any warning, her parents discovered she with a child. This made her parents very angry. She was of course unmarried. She would not confess who the man was. But after such harassment, at last she named Hakuin. In great anger, the parents went to the master and asked about this thing. Then this master, he is famous for this thing. Is that so? He was just asking that only, was all what he would say. After the child was born, it was brought to Hakuin. By this time, he had lost his reputation in the community, which did not trouble him. He was not at all bothered, but he took very good care of the child. He obtained milk from his neighbors and everything else the little one needed. A year later, the child's mother, could stand it no longer. She told her parents the truth. The real father of the child was a young man who worked in the fish market. The mother and the father of the girl at once went to Hakuin to ask his forgiveness, to apologize at length, and to get the child back again. Hakuin was willing. In yielding the child, all that he said was, Is that so? That's the story. Is that so? That's the name of the story. Anything if you would like to say with that, maybe we can close our today's session. It clearly shows the state of the mind of the Zen master, almost like the one who left his last thing which he could leave.
Yeah, it's like saying Apdiya. Is that
Yes,
so?
yes, exactly.
The only
Exactly.
thing which comes to my
I was
mind
going to
is
ask,
that
is
so?
that so?
Is that so?
You
Yeah,
said
it
yeah.
See
doesn't.
that?
It doesn't need a
I
reflection.
All of us are
Jayanti
thinking
ma'am,
in the
I
same
felt
level now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Is that so? And appropriately titled also. So with this, maybe we can stop
God.
today's session. Anything, Jayanti ma'am, please.
You can go on for another
No,
10 minutes, no problem.
Huh,
It's only
no, no. I was just.
8:15 now.
huh.
It's such an amazing story. So simple and such simple language. Uh, Wonderful. Thank you, Ajit sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. If we can take maybe one more story, I will read rather than reflecting.
Sure, sure.
Because this is of the disciple of Hakuin himself. One another story is their 25th story. So it must be connected. It is like we go with the lineage that way. Let me just quickly get into that. There are a lot of beautiful stories are there, of course. 25. This also doesn't require much reflection. It is like the wave story only, almost like the wave story. The story is named 3 Days More. Suivo, the disciple of Hakuin, was a good teacher. During one summer seclusion period, a pupil came to him from a southern island of Japan. Suivo gave him the problem. Hear the sound in one hand. The pupil remained 3 years but couldn't pass this test. Like, with one hand he should hear the sound, one hand clap or something. One night he came in tears to Suivo. I must return south in shame and embarrassment, he said, for I cannot solve my problem. Wait 1 week more and meditate constantly. Advised Suivo. Still no enlightenment came to the pupil. Try for another week, said Suivo. The pupil obeyed, but in vain. Still another week. Yet this was no avail. In despair, the student begged to be released, but Suivo requested another meditation for 5 days. They were without result. Then he said, meditate for 3 days longer. Then, if you fail to attain enlightenment, and you better kill yourself. On the second day, the pupil got enlightened. That's the story. 3 days more. Just a 2 minute story. Anything to ponder on?
The enlightenment came because otherwise he had to kill himself.
Yeah, exactly. It's a similar story actually.
I didn't get a little bit in the first 2 lines that you read.
Yes.
I'm not sure. The first 2 lines, could you just read them again?
Yeah.
Just the 2 lines.
The first one, the start of the story.
Yeah.
Suivo, the disciple of Hakuin. Hakuin is the one who we discussed before. He's that soap master. Was a good teacher. During the summer seclusion period, a pupil came to him from a southern island of Japan.
Okay.
So he gave him a problem. Hear the sound of one hand. Generally, that is
what
very.
What does it mean? Sound of one hand means?
Actually, in Zen tradition, we used to say that the sound comes only if there are two hands. But in Zen